The ousting of longtime leader Omar al-Bashir brought political change to Sudan, but for many, 2020 started on the same tough spot as the year before, with shortages of bread, fuel and foreign currency.
We are suffering a lot because of the lack of fuel. Since the early morning we get up and stand in queue for bread. Students have even left schools to stand in queue to get bread, fuel, gas and transportation.
In March, Sudan recorded its first case of COVID-19 and almost immediately declared a state of health emergency, imposed an overnight nationwide curfew and closed all airports to commercial flights. But for a country under sanctions at the time, dealing with the pandemic was difficult. Hospitals grappled with an acute shortage of medicine.
I have been looking for my medicine for 3 days, and I still cannot find it. There is a big crisis in the supplies of medicine, and there is a great difficulty in the search for medicine.
As its economy struggled, Sudan was hit with its worst floods in nearly a century. The United Nations says at least 120 people were killed in September. The government declared a 3-month state of emergency.
More than 120,000 houses have been destroyed, either partially or fully. We're talking about more than 650,000 people affected in different parts of Sudan.
On the regional front, this year saw renewed efforts by Sudan, Egypt and Ethiopia to break their long-running stalemate over the filling and operation of Ethiopia's new dam on the Blue Nile. The three countries are still yet to reach an agreement after multiple rounds of talks over the years. The project has caused huge diplomatic tensions since its construction began in 2011. While Ethiopia sees the project as crucial for its economic growth, Egypt and Sudan fear the dam will reduce the flow of water to their countries. Despite these challenges, there have been some wins for Sudan. In October, the government signed a peace deal with 5 rebel groups, raising hopes of an end to 17 years of conflict.
We are not going back to war, and we are eager to implement everything that has been reached in all parts of the agreement, and in terms of security arrangements, the judiciary and political issues.
But perhaps one of the biggest surprises came in October, when Sudan became the 3rd Arab nation in 2 months to normalize relations with Israel. In return, President Donald Trump removed Sudan from the US list of state sponsors of terrorism. Sudan also agreed to pay $335 million to victims of terror attacks on US embassies in Kenya and Tanzania 22 years ago. Reactions from Sudanese were mixed.
I don't see any problem with normalization with Israel. Many countries have normalized relation with Israel, and they are among the greatest countries and leading countries as far as I know.
I'm against normalization of ties with Israel because normalization doesn't serve the interests of Sudan, either now or tomorrow.
In November, a conflict in neighboring northern Ethiopia's Tigray region prompted an influx of refugees into Sudan. And with just 16 months left before the transitional government's mandate comes to an end, 2021 will be crucial for the government as it prepares for free and fair multi-party elections in 2022. Dominic Brian Omondi, TRT World.